So Dr. King was really paralleling this epic struggle with what was contemporary for him at the time, and I think it's interesting because I reflect on the movie The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston, and I wonder what would happen if there was a part two to that film, and the part two in my imagination looks and sounds like this: that they finally make it to the promised land, and there are people who are complaining about the things that they have to do in this promised land because they heard of the wonders and powerful things that Moses did. And so they look at the new leadership, Joshua and Caleb, and they're concerned because Joshua and Caleb are actually asking the people to do things. And so they look at Joshua and Caleb and they say, what's wrong with you guys? Because we heard that Moses did X, Y, Z. And so being fed up with that conversation, Joshua and Caleb, the new leadership, go to the people and they bring them together and they make this announcement. And it's one of those drop the mic moments where they stand in front of the people and they say, people, we want you to know that Moses is dead. Now, why would it be important for this new leadership to point out something that everyone knew? Because they wanted to let those folks know that the things that you thought about in the past, the ways that you interacted with the world in the past, now have new challenges. We have new things to do, new goals, new ways of operating because the context is different. And so when we think about this idea of the civil rights movement, we have to recognize that all of those folks have passed. And they served their time well and they served their context well, but we are now in a new context, in a new paradigm, in a new way of doing things, and so we need new leadership, and that leadership has to be you. You become the new civil rights leader, and it doesn't take a whole lot to do that. It takes people who are committed to helping people learn, change, and grow. People who are willing to ask that uncle who says inappropriate things, where he gets those things from, and to love him through his answer. It takes folks who are willing to stand in a shopping market and at least make people think about the way that they're behaving. One of my favorite ways is to just cough when I hear people talking out of pocket, so to speak, as my grandmother would say. And so it takes that level of compassion to help move this agenda of making sure that people have access to their humanity, no matter what they look like, no matter where they come from. And you are that liberator. Or at least you can be.